I'll tell you, making these videos is not easy. This is my third attempt. For some reason, when I pause on YouTube, and then if it goes into the screen, if you hit the pause button again to continue the video, then all of a sudden it goes all the way out and it tries to bring me up to subscribe to some channel, whatever the latest thing I guess they've paid Roku for. But anyway, let's just listen to this. I'm going to start with this. I was going to start with Ukraine war, but I got to start with this because I don't want that to happen again.
And former CEO of Sprott US Holdings and the CEO of Rule Investment Media, none other than Mr. Rick Rule. Happy to have you on the show.
Jesse, thank you for having me on. I enjoy this process.
Excellent. I want to start with a broad question before we dive into more specifics, and that is, what are you most focused on in the commodities space as we look ahead to 2023?
I have to say the current malaise of the commodity price makes me extremely greedy. I'm sort of the anti-momentum guy. And so I'm really excited across the landscape. It seems to me like if I take a 5-year view at least, I can't lose in the oil and gas business. I can't lose in the uranium business. It will be very tough for me to lose if I have a 5-year viewpoint in bulk commodities, the reopening of China as an example, and the impending shortage in copper. I think that understanding the pivot to a more electric economy, I'm not talking just about electric vehicles, but rather batteries and the electrification of emerging markets, creates spectacular opportunities. But what I wish I had been more successful with last year, and what I hope to be successful with next year, is a return for my own portfolio to risk on. I haven't needed to be in juniors for the last 5 years because there was enough opportunity in developers, in lending, and in seniors. But
Okay, I don't want to steal too much from that channel. Anyway, so since the video was about Rick Rule, I just thought, well, you know what? Let me find, because he does a lot of videos on YouTube. I'm sure he'll never appear on my channel because I only get 10 people that watch these videos. But anyway, in a previous video, the reason I got into this, of course, I'm just flop around on YouTube and Rumble and try to follow the latest news, and I threw out a bunch of ticker symbols for you to investigate. That's not financial advice. It's just telling you what I'm doing. And then Rick Rule, he spanked me. He spanked me because I haven't done my due diligence. I mean, my due diligence on these is I watch a lot of YouTube and I listen to what people say. And of course, you get the propaganda spill a lot of times from the managers at these companies who do interviews, of course, on YouTube because they're trying to get investors. And they're gonna spin it, as best they can. And then I try to get multiple confirmations. And I listen to the YouTubers because they do if you kind of look around, they're doing the homework for you, and to a certain degree. Now, one of the things that I have not done, and I'm going to tell you, is I got to go in and look at these ticker symbols that I've bought and look at the balance sheet. Things that I look for are like shares outstanding. Are they increasing? What's the insider activity at the company? Those are two big things that I look at. Of course, Rick Rule, what's the liquidity versus the their ability to survive, so it's kind of like liquidity. You could have, money in the bank, but if you can't pay your mortgage off and you lose your job, then you're going to lose your house. So that's basically what you want to look for in a company. Same thing. I mean, if they've got lots of liquidity, it might look good that they've got, $3 million in the bank, but if their debts, and that's what other thing you got to look at is the long-term debt versus the short-term debt. Is the debt increasing? These are things, and I haven't done my due diligence on these. I've just been, so anyway, and Rick Rule pointed out two things that you're going to want, and I have not read these. And I tell you this, and a lot of people worship Ben Graham, but he says if you're going to do two things for investing, you got The Intelligent Investor by Ben Graham. Buy that book. Said it's an easy read. And then if you want to understand how economies work, Economies in One Lesson. Now, what I have done, because Rick Rule, he does offer a free evaluation. So I've thrown up all the ticker symbols that I gave to you. Now I haven't gotten, I mean, he's a busy guy. I don't know, it might be a week or two before I get his feedback on these stocks. And in the meantime, I'll start trying to do a little bit more due diligence on these. But ruleinvestmentmedia.com, ruleinvestmentmedia.com. And he's coming out with his own bank. He's going to call it Battle Bank, battlebank.com. I've done videos on Wells Fargo. I think they're in a precarious position. Everybody thinks, no, the big banks can't go down. They're going to rescue them. They're going to rescue them with what? With $31 trillion in debt. Yeah, the Fed could go burr. They can go burr forever, but eventually the dollar ain't worth squat, and not only that, what are we like, $600 trillion in what do you call, like, Social Security? What are the unfunded liabilities there? I mean, come on, people. If you don't see the writing on the wall that this whole Ponzi scheme is going to be coming to an end in a rough kind of way, and we're probably heading, well, I'd say a Great Depression, but we'll see. I mean, you never know. I hope I'm wrong. And it's things are moving along fairly quick. That's why I call these the Watch the World Burn videos. So the other thing is, I was watching a video. There's some interesting activity that's going to come out of silver towards the end of the month. There's a lot of futures contracts that are coming due. And they're saying, because the shortage in the physical silver, the things are moving. I mean, we're going to see things come to a head. A lot of gold's getting purchased off of so the whole, if you don't follow the COMEX or the LDMA, how that whole scheme works, they're saying on the videos that the paper contract, you got 500 paper contracts to 1 ounce of silver. So, if you want to buy paper silver, you go right ahead. Anyway, so that's it. The latest on Ukraine was, and daggone it, I'm going to try to find the video again. I should have written it down. But the next target, well, that they hit Odessa. If you don't know Odessa, that's a southern port in Ukraine. And they ship grain. In fact, that's going to hurt the whole world because the city right now, from what I understand, is without power. So the Russians hit them pretty hard with the, supposedly Iranian drones. I mean, how do you know? I mean, but I guess that's what they're saying. And that's going to be huge. And the report that I got was the next place that the Russians are going to invade. I can't remember what it was. And I want to say it was Odessa, but that doesn't make sense because that's southern Ukraine. And the ground hasn't frozen there yet, I don't think. And how are they going to come all the way from northern Ukraine all the way southern Ukraine? No, they're not. I don't. I'll try to get the video. Maybe I'll make an update later on tonight. So that's kind of it. That's all I got for tonight. Because I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to lead you into where you need to be. I mean, if you're not buying silver, that's another thing. Silver did a pullback on Thursday and Friday. Now, when I say pullback, I was buying it at 19, 18. Now it's at 23. Should you buy at 23? Well, it did pull back from 24 because it was brushing up against that. I don't know. Everybody says that's a threshold that when it crosses it, it could be off to the races. And understand, these are not investments. Silver is not an investment. Some people say it's not even a hedge against inflation. To me, it is, but that's just my opinion. It certainly is a preservation of wealth. And that's kind of what I'm trying to tell you right now is you got to preserve your wealth. And if you've got liquidity right now, make sure you're moving it into assets. Understand, if you put it into, let's say, a 30-year treasury earning 4%, and if you believe, as I do, there's no way in hell they're going to get inflation under control. And inflation runs hot at 8 to 16%, depending on who you watch. You're losing money. And so in 30 years, that treasury, even assuming the U.S. government doesn't go bankrupt, which I'm sure they are, that thing's going to be worthless. And then another thing that because I feel sorry in a way for my ex-wife. Now, the reason why I'm doing all of this research on getting back into the mining stocks and everything was when my wife divorced me. I had her IRA, she called it her IRA. I looked at it as our IRA. Florida's a 50-50 state, and I managed all of our funds with the big picture in mind. So, You know, I was with my IRAs and whatnot, you know, I call them the money that I had in my accounts. I was taking a lot more risks, so I was losing a lot more. I kept her in safe investments, and I built her up from 130,000 to 500,000, which she took in the divorce. So now I'm rebalancing all of my portfolios into where I had her, you know, because when you take in the whole big picture, you know, I was trying to get everything, you know, balanced out to prepare for what I think is coming. So anyway, I guess that's about it. This is kind of just an investment video. I mean, if you don't own any gold stock or platinum, you know, I still encourage you to be on top of that. Now they're saying we could get a nice pullback. I can't remember why. Anyway, oh yeah, so the other tip that I got, if you ever watch the Economic Ninja, I like watching him. He's a good guy. He's trying to help you too. A lot of people on YouTube are trying to help you if people would just pay attention. And something I'm going to look into, he says, you know, because I buy from SD Bullion and I used to buy from Monex. Then, of course, you got Miles Franklin. I think these are all reputable places for you to go out and buy silver. Of course, even Rick Rule said he's been buying up junk silver. I mean, when Rick Rule does that, because you need that smaller denomination to be able to barter in if the dollar completely gets destroyed, which it certainly is. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So the ninja said that right now, because people are trying to buy Christmas gifts and they don't understand the value of real money, that at your local coin shops, that they may be going out and selling the coins. I didn't really think about that. And so you might be able to pick up silver, because what you want right now is quantity, not quality. And you might be able to pick up some silver at darn near spot price, because right now the best I've seen is $4.50 over spot, and you're looking at 23.50 or somewhere around 23.23, I think it was. So you take $4.50 above that, so you're paying a pretty hefty premium online. It's SD Bullion or Miles Franklin or Monex or whatever you want to go. So maybe I'm going to check it out. Plus, you know, you need to establish that relationship with your local coin shops. You know, if the SH hits the, you know, fan, you're going to want to have a relationship with your local coin shops, number one. And number two, you might be able to pick up some good deals right now. If people are really dumping silver to buy Christmas gifts and stock the stockings, I encourage you to put the silver in the stockings myself for your grandkids or your kids. I don't have any, so so that might be something to look into. I mean, check it out. Of course, I mean, I guess the pawn shops too, but I've never dealt with a pawn shop in my life. I've kind of gone in there, but I never trust them. I mean, I don't know, maybe, you know, but they're in business, right? And so who knows? But yeah, definitely check out your local coin shops. You might be, if you can get silver of any way, shape, or fashion that is 0.999 quality, or even junk silver at a few dollars above spot, when $4.50 is the premium right now and the best. That's the Britannicas and the Cougarans at Miles Franklin is what I saw today. You might be able to pick up a deal. Peace out, stay free, and it's good to live in the free state of Florida.